Very simple class today. We're using a whole lot of Surya Namaskars to then prepare for again a very simple posture, and that's the upward facing dog. So that's going to be our focus when we hit the ground. This week is all about back bends. Now, we're doing two forms of the Surya Namaskar only, beginner variation and variation 6. But when it comes to variation 6, we'll keep changing the lunge. The low crescent lunge, we'll change it just a little bit every single time. And we're going quite slow. Fine. You might need two blocks, so keep them close by. That's, of course, for the standing postures. And keep a belt close by as well for when we hit the ground. Let's start. Come on up, front of the mat. Surya Namaskars, beginner variation. Feet together, palms together. Release. Inhale, up and back. Breathing out, forward bend down. Left leg, not too far, knee touching the ground. Downward facing dog, hips back. Knees down. Inhale, dipped back, look up, cat pose. Exhale, hunch, finish the cat. Inhale, neutral back. Out, downward dog. Left foot forward, right knee touch. Forward bend, folding over, drop your head. And inhale, up and behind. Straighten, release. One more of these. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Right leg not too far, knee touch. Down dog, hips back. Knees down, dipped back, look up, breathe in. Hunch back, breathe out. Flat back, breathe in. Down dog, exhale. Right leg forward, left knee touch. Forward bend. And inhale, up and behind. Straighten and let go. Okay, we now move to Surya Namaskar 6. But we're doing the proper thing only at the very end, only when it comes to the sixth rep. Yes, we're doing the 6 times. Because we're doing them so often, if you like, you can go deeper in your back bends when you go arms up and back. Feel free to go deeper if you like. Fine. Also, when you're doing your forward bend at the very end, feel free to bend your knees maybe a little more. That will also give your lower back some rest. So let's just get done with this. Now we're moving a little slower than usual. Feet together, palms together. Namaskar 6, but with a difference every time. Release. Inhale, up and back. Breathing out, forward bend. Left leg all the way back, knee touching the ground, and this time you'll come up with your hands on your knee. That's it. Stay here for some time. Hands down and plank, straight line. Down to the mat, knees, chest, and chin. Flatten first and then cobra, breathing in. Breathing out, downward dog. Left foot all the way forward, right knee touching. And hands on knees, sit up. Relax your shoulders. Let your elbows just drop down. Do not pop them outward. Just let them drop down over here. Hands down. Breathing out. Forward bend. Stepping together. Folding over. And finally, inhale up and back. Straighten, let it go. Inhale up. Exhale down. Right leg back. Knee touching the ground. Come on up. And let's go arms up. Just up. Don't curve back. Don't look up. Nothing. Just upward. Absolutely vertical. And keep reaching for the ceiling with your fingers. Hands down and plank. To the ground. Knees, chest, chin. Inhaling into cobra. Exhaling into down dog. Right leg forward. Left knee touch. Chest up and arms up. We're not looking up and we're not curving back. Not as yet. Hands down. Nice and slow. Stepping together into a forward bend. Uttanasana. Inhale up and behind. Straighten up, release. And we still have four more. Inhale up. Forward bend down. Left leg all the way back. Knee touch. Chest up, but now we do something slightly different. Fingers interlocked. Place those hands behind your head and move your elbows as far apart as possible. Release, hands down, plank, down to the ground. Cobra, chest up. Down dog, hips back. Left leg forward. Right knee down. Body up. Fingers interlocked. Behind your head. Elbows apart. Gentle release. Hands down. And returning into that Uttanasana, forward bend. Breathing out as you do this. Inhale. Up and behind. Straighten, let it go. Inhale up. Forward bend down. Right leg all the way back, knee touch. Body up. And this time, hands on your hips, giving your hips a little push forward. Remember, your elbows are pointing behind, not outward. Elbows pointing back. Really rolling your shoulders back at the same time. Enough. Hands down. Exhale, plank. to the ground. 8 pointed salute. Inhale, cobra, chest up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg forward. Left knee touch. Body up, hands on hips, and a little bit of a push. Release, hands down. Stepping together, folding over. Remember to drop your head over here. And inhale, up and back. Going back only as much as you can. Release. Final two. Inhale up. Uttanasana down. Left leg back, knee touch. Body up. Fingers interlocked. Arms up. Arms a little behind your ears. And then bend your elbows. Now you want your elbows pointing up to the ceiling, not flopping out to the side, elbows up. So keep your arms as close to your head as possible. Straighten. Hands down. And plank. Ashtanga Namaskar. Knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Left all the way forward, right knee touch. Get the chest up first. Fingers interlocked, arms up. Arms behind ears slightly, and then bending the elbows. Don't be in a hurry. Straighten. Hands down. And step forward. Uttanasana. You can keep your knees slightly bent. Nothing wrong with that. And inhale, up and behind. With control. Straighten, release. Last one. Inhale up. And now we do the real thing. Up and back. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward bend. Right leg all the way back, knee touch. Come on up. Now, if you like, you can join your palms, interlock your fingers. Nothing wrong with that. Arms up. Breathe in, reach up for the ceiling, and curve back. Come back up to the center. So your fingers are pointing to the ceiling. Then get your hands down and plank. To the mat, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Right leg all the way forward. Left knee touch. Come on up. Arms up. If you like, you can also keep your hands apart. Really, whatever works for you. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, curve, go. And hold for a couple of breaths. Back up first. Then get those hands down. And finally into your forward bend. Gentle forward bend. Doesn't have to be too extreme. Inhale, up and behind. Straighten, release. Okay, that's done. Fine. Now, standing sideways on your mat, make sure you can see the screen. So you might have to turn your mat a little bit, doesn't matter. If you need blocks, and I would recommend it, keep them one on either side of the mat. Now, if you have only one block, you might have to carry it with you every time. Doesn't matter. Let's start. And what we're doing is we're lengthening the sides of the body to then hopefully help with the back bend. And we're doing that quite a bit. First, feet apart, nice and long. Why long? Because now we're going into side angle posture, Parsvakonasana. Right foot 90 degrees, arms up. Breathe in. Bend the right knee. You're in warrior two for just a second. From here, right hand down on the ground. Use a block if you need it. And then go left arm forward. Top arm absolutely straight. Do not bend the elbow of the left arm. Beautiful. Left arm up. Gently return back to the center. And let's go the other side. Left foot 90 degrees. Breathe in. Breathe out. Left knee bent, warrior two. And then left hand down to the ground inside the foot today. Whenever you're ready, right arm extending in line with the rest of you. Right arm up. Get back up to the center. Make sure your toes are pointing forward now. Hands on your hips. Breathe in. Elbows pointing behind, not out to the side. Elbows back. Breathe in. Lift up your chest. Look up and curve back just a bit, only as much as you can. Please do not force this. Inhale back up slow. Slide your hands down your legs. Maybe you wait at your shins. Maybe you wait at the ankles. And maybe you can touch the ground. And we're just doing a half up. We're not going all the way down. Today, we're only doing a half up. Exhale, hands on hips, look forward. Inhale, up with straight legs if you can manage. Beautiful stuff. Shuffle your feet back together and relax for a moment. So that's how it's going to be. The entire standing series is going to be like that, but of course in different ways. Next one, feet apart, but not as wide as what you just did. So a little less than before. Now here things change. Let's put the arms up for balance first. Arms at shoulder height. Turn the heels in and toes out. Breathe in and go for a wide squat. From here, left arm up, right hand on your thigh. Inhale and exhale, curve to the right. So as of now, you're resting with your forearm on your thigh. And for most of us, this is enough. But if possible, I'll say right hand to the ground, maybe on your fingers, maybe even flat palm. Careful. You don't want the legs shifting. You don't want the knees changing direction. Okay, inhale up nice and slow. Take your time. Wait there. Right arm up, left hand on knee. Breathe in. Exhale, curve to the left, resting on your forearm, or going down to your fingers. Block is a good idea, or maybe even flat palm on the ground. Keep your thighs exactly as they were before you started the curve. Keep pushing your knees apart. Come on up. Now, when you come up, keep your hands forward so you don't lose balance. And then as you lift up, turn your toes forward once again so you don't lose balance. Hands down. Keep your feet there. Do not change the width of your feet. Hands on hips, elbows pointing behind. Breathe in, chest up. Some of us need to drop the head back and go, pushing your hips forward, curve. Inhale back up and slow, straight legs, folding forward. Weight on your shins for a moment. If you can, go down to the ground, maybe even flat palms. And once again, it's a half up. Hands on hips, looking forward. Inhale up. Nice and slow. Shuffle or step your legs together. Okay, next. Now we do it with a triangle. So, same process, same principle, same logic, but different postures. Feet apart for triangle, about that much distance. Arms out to the sides. Right foot turns 90 degrees. Breathe in. Tuck the hip in, go forward and down. And today I'll say there's no need to go to the ground, even if you can. Just stop your right hand on your ankle. Why? Because our focus is the left side of the body. Breathe in, rotate your left arm and point that left arm forward in the same line as the left side of your ribs. Left arm up. Inhale up. And let's turn the other way. Left foot 90 degrees, triangle on the left leg. Breathe in. Tuck the hip in, reach forward first, and then go down to your ankle. So if you're really, really comfortable going all the way down to the ground, then you're welcome to go down. But for most of us, I'd say just stop on the ankle. If you're really happy going down there, no problem, go for it. Rotating the right arm pointing forward. Of course, in this case, forward means in the same direction as your left foot. Really reach with that right arm. Absolutely straight right arm. Right arm up. Inhale up. Facing the front again with your toes pointing in the same direction that you're facing. This is really important. You don't want to turn the feet out at this stage. Hands on your hips. Breathe in, chest up. Some of us will drop the head back, some of us won't. Push your hips forward and curve back. Straight legs, hopefully. Only what you can control. Inhale back up. Stay there. Breathe in. And once again, slide your hands down, weight on your shins. So you're looking forward at this stage. Then, if you can, hands down to the ground. And when your hands are down or using blocks, you're still looking forward, but you're looking forward at the ground. There's no need to strain the neck. Strong legs, active legs. Hands on hips. Inhale up, looking forward as you come up. That'll help. And relax for a moment. Shuffle or step your legs together. Relax. All right, we still have two more of those mini sequences to go. But now it gets a little stronger. Feet about shoulder width apart, not more than that. So that would be too much, just about shoulder width. Right hand on your thigh, left arm up. Now, before you start moving, breathe in, lift up that left shoulder so your arm is close to your head, and then exhale, curving to the right. You can use this right hand for a little bit of support, no problem there. Your focus is the left side of your body. Really reach with that left arm, pushing your hips to the left, pointing those fingers to the right. Stay in control of the neck. Inhale back up, down, right arm up, lift up, lift that shoulder up, arm and head close to each other. Exhale, curving to the left. Tiriyak Tadasana, the swaying or the tilted palm tree, but sometimes also known as a crescent posture. Chandrasana. So different names, but more or less the same thing. And right now we're doing only the one-armed variation, makes it easier. Inhale, return, hands down. Now this time when we curve back, we will not go with hands on hips. We're making it a little stronger by taking the arms up, just like you would for a sun salutation. Now, depending on how far back you go, you might decide to drop your head, or you might not want to do that. All okay. I'll just turn sideways so you have a different view. Feet are still about shoulder width apart. Inhale, arms up. Some of us will drop the head back. People doing less will not. And let's go. Pushing your hips forward, lifting your chest up. Go back only as much as you can. Do not force these. Inhale, return. Hands down. Breathe in and breathe out. Hinging from the hip, not from the lower back. Now, if you have to bend your knees at this stage, you're welcome to do so. Hands on your shins. Weight over there. Really focus on flattening the back, even if you have to bend your knees. And then going lower, maybe to the ankles, maybe to the ground. So the thing about the half up or the head up is that you're almost pushing the ground away from yourself. It's quite active down there. You're not just resting on the ground, you're pushing away so you create that flat back. Teaches you to flex from the hips rather than the back. All right, exhale, hands on hips. Inhale, looking forward, hopefully with straight legs, if you can, of course. And returning all the way up. Wonderful stuff. Now here's the final one. Feet stuck together. Fingers interlocked. Index finger released. And please remember, do not separate your palms. So you don't want to separate the palms. Keep them stuck together throughout this. Arms up. If you like, you can take your arms a little behind the ears in case you feel like your head is coming in the way of things. Breathe in, reach out for the ceiling. Breathe out, curve to the right. Absolutely forward facing. Do not turn your chest towards the ground like this at all. Forward facing. Straight arms. Inhale, return. Hands down for a moment. Now change the finger interlock. So if your right thumb is on top, you want to change all your fingers. So now the left thumb is on top, or vice versa, depending, as long as you change it. Arms up. Really long, straight arms, maybe behind your ears slightly, just slightly. And exhale, hips to the right, hands to the left. Strong legs. Inhale, return, and down. Beautiful stuff. Okay, now comes the hardest one of the lot. Feet together and going into a back bend. I'll leave it up to you. If you want to join your hands, that's going to make it harder. If you want to keep your hands apart, that's going to be slightly easier. Now, here's the thing. I'll just turn sideways for you. If you're joining your hands, you will have to drop your head back first. Okay? If you've got your hands apart and you're doing less, you don't even need to drop the head back. So remember, it's a very personal practice. How deep you go is entirely up to you. Maybe you're just a couple of inches behind the center line, and that is also okay. You need to be safe. That's what matters. Let's do this. Feet stuck together, fingers interlocked if you choose, arms up. Now, if you do have fingers interlocked, I'll say drop your head back first. Breathe in and breathe out. Start the curve. Straight, strong legs. Only as much as you can. Do not force this. Inhale, return. Hands down. Breathe in. Straight legs. Fold over, hands on shins, never on the knees. Looking slightly forward at the ground. Maybe lower for some of us, maybe even flat on the floor, but it's still a half up. Now, we won't come up from here. We're done with our standing series, but before you go down to the ground, breathe in, bend your knees as much or as less as you like, and fold over completely so you're now resting on your thighs. Your body's just lying down on your thighs. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Maybe you're touching the ground because that's better for balance. Maybe you've crossed your forearms. But remember, body resting on your thighs. And that's it. Hands touch the ground. Step back. Knees down. And lie flat on the ground, face down. And rest over here for a moment. Okay, come on up onto your forearms. And you can wait there while I'm explaining a few things. So you're preparing and you're resting at the same time. So just over here, easy cobra on your forearms. And let me show you a few things. So from here, the focus is an upward facing dog. That's simple. That's it. So we still have a few back bends, but they're all upward dogs. What we will do is we'll try and play around with the up dogs as far as the feet are concerned. Feet apart, feet closer, toes tucked under, toes pointed, that sort of stuff. So we'll do it 4 times. Now, there's a few things you need to remember. An up dog is not a cobra. All right. So there's few things you need to remember. And among the most important things is the placement of the hands. You want your hands a little lower than chest level. Now, depending on how bendy you are, maybe you'll take it far down, maybe it's just a little lower than chest level. The idea is that when you come up, your hands are directly under your shoulders. If your hands are further back than the shoulder line and you lift off, that's going to strain the wrist. If your hands are too far forward of the shoulder line, like I'm doing now, and you lift off, that's going to strain the back. So you got to decide where you want your hands to be. Find a proper place for yourself. And this is where repetition really helps because you sort of figure out what's going on along the way, maybe. Okay, that's one thing, wrist placement. Now, the hips. You want your legs absolutely strong and tight, but don't let that tightness, that activeness in the legs transfer into the lower back. Let me show you what I mean. So if that's your up dog and you're tightening up in the hip, you want strong legs, but you allow the hip to drop, not touch the ground. There. Allow the back to curve. I'm not saying force your hips deeper down into a stronger curve or something. All I'm saying is just let your hips drop. Your legs are really active, but above that, it's a little relaxed so that you create that curve. Don't tighten the belly up. Okay? Let's remember all that. Now, today, every time we do an up dog, you'll rest, and the rest will be lying face down with your forehead on your palms and tucking your tail in like you're pushing your pelvis into the ground for about 5 seconds. And then, of course, complete relaxation for another 5, 7 seconds or so. All right, let's do this. First, upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Hands a little lower than chest level, feet slightly apart, and toes pointing back, feet apart. Inhale, chest up. Push the ground away from yourself and straight, strong legs. If you like, look up. If you can't look up, if your neck hurts or is uncomfortable, just look forward. Both will do. And down. Slow, slow with control. Forehead on palms. Tuck your tail in, push your pelvis into the ground for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax completely. Let it go. Second one, upward facing dog again. Hands in proper position, a little lower than chest level. Still keeping the feet apart, but this time we'll tuck the toes under. And this is again going to feel different. Toes tucked under, feet apart. Inhale, start coming up, up, up. Push the ground really straight, strong legs. No involuntary bending in the knees. Allow the hips to drop. Looking up if you can, looking forward if you don't like that. Really straight, strong legs, hands under shoulders, shoulders moving away from your ears. So really push down into the ground. And down. Relax. Beautifully done. Forehead on palms. Tail tucked in for 5 seconds. Push. Relax. Stop the push. And let's do another one. Now, I would like to say feet together, but feet completely together might be too strong for a lot of us. So I'll just say feet a little closer to each other than they were before. Your choice, how deep you want that to go. Remember, feet stuck together will feel quite strong for many of us. So just do a little less or a little less distance between the feet than you did before. Let's go. Toes pointed, feet together or slightly apart. Hands in proper position, lower than chest level. Inhale, start coming up. Push the ground away from yourself. Straight, strong legs, shoulders broad and open. Shoulders away from ears. Strong legs, really active legs, but do not let that tightness go into the lower back. And down. Pushing your pelvis into the ground. And then rest. Okay, final one. Once again, feet closer together, but this time with the toes tucked under. And that's our fourth and last variation of the upward dog. Toes tucked under, feet closer together, hands lower than chest level. Inhale up, lift off, straight legs. Think about the legs. Are they straight? You can't see them, but you can feel it if you're cheating at the knees. Thighs lifting off the ground. Depress your shoulders away from your ears to get that lift. And that's enough for today. Down, elbows bent, thighs touch, forehead on palms, tail tucked in, pushing your pelvis into the floor for 5 seconds. And then resting completely for another few seconds. Okay, gently help yourself up on your hands and knees. Time to counter pose. Time to release all that contraction in the lower back, hands and knees. Now we're only doing the hunched part of the cat pose, Marjarasan, but only the hunched part. So starting from a flat neutral back, breathe in, breathe out, drop your head, hunch your shoulders, and tuck your tail in. And stay there. Release, come back to flat back. And once again, doing only the hunched part, but of the tiger, Vyagrasana. So knees a little closer to each other might help, not stuck together, just a little closer to each other. That'll help with balance. Breathe in, breathe out, hunch, and take your right knee to your nose or your forehead. Down, wait, flat back. And let's go with the left leg. Breathe in, breathe out, hunch, drop your head, hunch your shoulders, left knee to the forehead or the nose. Keep your arms straight. And release, that's enough. Last one over here. I'm going to be a little mean to you, not very mean, but just a little mean. Forearms on the ground, fingers interlocked, elbows about shoulder width apart. Now slow. Step back with your feet and go into a forearm plank. Slightly protracted shoulders. So you want the tail tucked in and rounded shoulders. Making sure that you don't feel this in the back. It's all in the front. It's all in the anterior chain. Neck is quite relaxed. Tail tucked in, shoulders rounded. Hold. And that's enough. Knees down, body down. Rest for a moment. You can turn your head to any side. Slow, getting onto your back. Now, maybe you just turn around exactly where you are, but maybe you need to see the screen so you get your head to the back of the mat. Really depends on how you're positioned. Take your belts. Just for a short time, we're doing a little work on the hammies. So, reclining, hand to big toe posture, butt with the belt, starting with both knees bent. And let's go right leg up. Use the belt if you need it. So if you don't need a belt, maybe you just use your hands, all okay. But if you have a belt, it's just easier to grip. And after a few seconds with the right leg up, let's start slowly straightening the left on the ground. Left knee bent, right leg release. And let's go left leg up. Slowly starting to straighten that right leg along the floor. Now, if you can't straighten the right leg completely, that's okay. Maybe you got it slightly bent still, and that's fine. And that's enough. Right knee bent. Release the left leg. Keep the belt aside. Now sit up for a moment. Let me show you how we're ending this. Okay. Now we're trying to go in to a shoulder stand. Now, entirely up to you. Maybe you start with an easy shoulder stand and then go up completely into a proper shoulder stand or as high as you can. I'll leave that up to you. From there, you will try and go down into a plow. Now, maybe your knees are slightly bent in the plow. Again, we won't worry about that. But once you're in the plow, you'll try and raise one leg up. So let me just show you in a hurry. And I would really recommend that if you need extra height for your shoulders, it's a very good idea. Let me demonstrate. So folding the mat a couple of times. Yeah, so I've folded it 4 times over there. Okay, you want your shoulders on this line and your head off the mat. If your shoulders go off, you've lost the plot. If your head is on top along with your shoulders, again, you haven't achieved anything. So remember, shoulders at this edge, head off the mat. And that really makes a big difference to your neck. So if you feel like you need this kind of support, go for it. Please remember, do not make your mat very narrow. You don't want your elbows floating above in the air over here. So a quick demonstration of what's happening. With or without support. Shoulders at the edge over there. You see that? My elbows are on the mat as well. Anyway, I'll come up into an easy shoulder stand. Some of us will straighten up, some of us won't. You'll hold that for some time, then you'll go down into a plow. Now, maybe you're bending your knees a little bit, doesn't matter. From your plow, you'll keep right leg down and left leg up as high as it'll go. Maybe it won't go too high, and that's okay too. You'll stay there for a while, come down again, right leg up, come down again, and then release the whole thing. And that is the end of our class. Now, let's say you don't like the shoulder stand at all. What will you do? Very simple. I'd like you to find a wall, get your hips close to the wall, lie down on the ground with your legs up against the wall. That's it. Okay, so if you're avoiding the shoulder stand because your neck doesn't like it or you're not very confident, no problem, just legs up the wall and rest over here. Okay, otherwise, let's do this. Fold your mat if you need it. Make sure there's space behind you. Your feet are going to go there. And let's start. Down. Legs up. Hands on lower back. Starting in an easy shoulder stand. Wait here for some time. If you can, straighten up. Only if you can. Wait here for some time. And now slow. Hinging from the hips. Take your legs down to the ground behind your head. Keep your hands on your lower back. Stay there in your plow for some time. Okay. Right leg stays down, left leg up as high as you can manage. Doesn't have to be too much. Down. Left leg stays down, right leg comes up. Down. Both arms on the ground behind your back. Slowly get your hips down on the floor. Get your feet down on the floor. And that's it. Lying down on the ground with bent knees. Now, we will not do a fish posture over here. Normally, we should after a shoulder stand. But instead of that, we'll release the neck and we sit up. So for now, just lie down. Knees bent, feet apart, knees knocking into each other. Slow, shuffle your feet together, drop to the side, and help yourself up into a seated position. Any seated position. Simple crossed legs on your knees, whatever works for you. Seated with an absolutely straight vertical back, breathe in. Turn your head to the right. Come back to the center. Exhale, turn to the left. Come back to the center. Breathe in, breathe out. Drop your chin down slightly. There's no need to go too deep. Keep your back straight and just drop the chin down, like you're trying to touch your chin to your throat. Hands on the ground, beside the hips or slightly behind. Inhale, open your chest, roll your shoulders back, and then look up as much as is comfortable. And that's it. Come back to neutral. Stay there for a moment with a straight back. Palms together, breathe in and exhale.